As American Jews were campaigning for USSR to allow Jews to leave the country, our family was fortunate to immigrate to the States. The entire Western world was rallying for Jews to be allowed to leave Soviet Union. But why were they doing it? We now can benefit from America's great wealth, but were they campaigning for us to leave Russia because of the terrible living conditions? No, there were many countries where people lived in bigger poverty. Were they motivated by the anti-Semitism in the USSR? Also not. There were many places with much greater hatred towards the Jews. All of their demonstrations had only one motivation. The Jews in Russia were arrested for attending a synagogue or even for learning Hebrew. They were demanding for USSR to let Jews leave only because of one reason. Soviet Union did not allow Jews to practice their religion. American Jews were asked to leave an empty chair at their Pesach Seder to symbolize a Jew in Russia who was not able to have a Seder. When making a bar mitzvah for their son, American Jews left an empty seat to symbolize a Russian Jew who was not allowed to have a bar mitzvah. It was not about anti-Semitism or poverty. It was all about religion. The slogan the movement chose also had a religious source, a passage from Torah, the words Moses used when demanding from Pharaoh to release the Jews from Egypt. Let my people go. American Jews were surprised that after coming to the US, we Russian Jews were not becoming active members of the American Jewish community. They finally can attend a synagogue without any fears. Why aren't they running? They wondered. After freeing a bird from a cage, you would expect it to fly up because now it is free to do so. But what if the bird was never taught to fly? What if the bird was always taught to look down at flying, as only walking was proclaimed as the right thing to do? The Lubavitcher Rebbe pointed out that the slogan, "Let my people go," was actually only a half of the quote from Torah. The full sentence is, "Let my people go so they can serve God." The slogan's plea for freedom was not reflecting why the freedom was demanded. The Rebbe was asking for the slogan to include the entire quote from the Torah. As we see today, the Rebbe's request was not only about the semantics. American Jewish community created a tremendous operation for the "let my people go" part, but what about so they can serve God? They brought us here so we should not be arrested for attending a synagogue, but how many of us come to synagogues today? As our family arrived here, we did not even know that this is why they were fighting for us to come here. I just returned from the International Conference of Chabad Shluchim. One of the speakers was Malcolm Hoenlein, the Executive Vice Chairman of the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations. As he addressed 4,500 Chabad rabbis and 2,000 lay leaders, he was speaking about exactly this point. While most of non-Chabad synagogues have virtually no Russian-speaking members, almost every Chabad center in America has Russian-speaking Jews and some in significant numbers. The audience also included several dozen of Chabad rabbis who had Chabad Russian-speaking centers in the US. Malcolm Hoenlein said that while big Jewish organizations like federations and Hayas were successful in accomplishing "let my people go," Chabad is the one doing so they can serve God part.